Everyone thinks retiring at 59 and a half is just about avoiding that 10% penalty, but let me tell you, if that's the reason you're picking this age, you're missing the point. So in the video, I'm going to show you 5 smart tax moves to make at age 59 and a half that go way beyond penalty-free withdrawals. We're gonna talk about tax strategy, withdrawal planning, and lifestyle adjustments that could save you 6 figures over your retirement. By the way, I'm a financial advisor and I've helped hundreds of people navigate this critical milestone. The moves I'm sharing today aren't just theory, they're proven strategies that can transform your retirement trajectory. So move number 1 is we just wanna master the in-service rollover. Most people don't even know it exists. In-service rollovers at 59 and a half, many 401k plans allow you to move funds out of your employer plan into an IRA while you're still working and still contributing. And so why does this matter? Is the majority of these plans are filled with stuff like target date funds and limited investment choices. An IRA is just going to give you more flexibility to start building your retirement investment plan years before you actually need it. So you might do bond ladders for predictable income. You have access to more growth stocks. You might begin doing Roth conversion strategies. You could start creating tax diversified withdrawal buckets. So if you want to look at this opportunity from a big picture perspective, financial planning gets more complicated as your wealth grows. Investing doesn't. And yet most self-made 401k and IRA millionaires end up with advisors who act more like investment managers than planners. They'll rebalance your pie chart. They'll pick out some funds. They're not helping you answer the real questions on your mind that drive retirement success. That's why rolling money from a 401k to an IRA shouldn't just be giving your investment guy or gal more assets to build on. The smart move is to take this complete picture approach. Yes, you'll gain more investment choices in an IRA, but the real value comes from coordinating everything else, your taxes, your Roth conversion strategy, healthcare costs, withdrawal planning, and even your income timing. At 59 and a half, you finally have this flexibility to start aligning all these pieces. Please do not waste this massive opportunity window by treating it as just like another investment shuffle, because you deserve better. Move number 2 is unlock this Roth conversion golden zone. Here's where things really start to get interesting, because before 59 and a half, if you did a Roth conversion and had taxes withheld from your IRA to pay for it, the IRS treated that withholding as a distribution. You got slapped with that 10% penalty. But once you hit 59 and a half, that penalty disappears. This creates what I call that Roth conversion zone, where it can be very powerful in your gap years between retirement and Medicare or retirement and Social Security. And the reality is most 7-figure 401k savers have very little or no money in Roth. Why? Because for years you've been told, just defer, defer, defer. Don't worry. You'll be in a lower tax bracket when you retire, wink, wink. But now with today's historically low tax rates, we know that deferral isn't always the best strategy. With a little education, some proactive planning, you can actually choose to pay part of your retirement tax bill now while rates are favorable, instead of later when the withdrawals may collide, RMDs are coming in, Medicare premiums, and Social Security taxation. And yes, ideally you'd cover the taxes from another source rather than withholding from the IRA itself. But even if you can't, the ability to withhold after 59 and a half without penalty is huge. This might even be the time to rethink your 401k contributions. Instead of maxing out your 401ks, you could redirect some of those dollars towards covering Roth conversion bills. And done right, this creates a massive tax diversification, giving you far more control and flexibility in your retirement years. Move number 3 is just focusing on your healthcare coverage. So 59 and a half is great because now it's the age where you can finally start making real strategic decisions. So if you're going to try to retire before 65, healthcare doesn't mean to be a roadblock to working till 65. You're not eligible for Medicare yet. But what I see is most retirees turn to ACA or COBRA, and here's the critical insight. Most people completely miss your ACA premiums are directly tied to your modified adjusted gross income. Not how much you actually spend, but in 2024, subsidies for a household of 2 phase out around $81,000. If you can start controlling your income and paying taxes now and for early retirement, you could see healthcare premiums just around a couple $100. Just look at an example. So let's assume you need $100,000 a year to support your lifestyle. Do some smart planning at 59 and a half. Keep your reported income at $60,000. You still get 100. Maybe you're pulling from Roth IRAs, $40,000 a year. It's not going to show up on your tax return. Maybe you're making yourself look poor or broke. Maybe you're taking in some capital gains income, favorable tax rates, do another small Roth conversion, manage your taxable hit. And so now you have that $100,000 lifestyle, but still under that subsidy cliff. That's the difference between $400 a month and $2,200 a month. And that is why age 59 and a half is critical, because For the first time, you have flexibility to pull from IRAs, penalty-free, mix in Roth, start coordinating income and healthcare. It's also when you can start deciding, do I retire before 65 and play the ACA game, or do I wait until Medicare and reduce moving parts? And the takeaway is, if you've got 7 figures, IRA, 401k, you cannot afford to just wing this. Your investment-only advisor isn't running these numbers. And the difference could easily be 6 figures in premiums and taxes. So move number 4 is start creating your Social Security strategy now. 59.5 you can't claim yet, but that's actually the perfect time to start building your strategy, because the decision you make now will determine 2 things later on. How much of your Social Security ends up being taxed, and number 2, how much you'll pay in Medicare premiums, which is deducted from your Social Security check. And so most people don't realize 85% of your Social Security can be taxed as ordinary income. So if I give you a quick example of like traditional retirement, 60,000 Social Security, $85,000 IRA withdrawal, every single year 85% of their Social Security shows up on the tax return, and they're sitting in that 22% marginal tax rate. Household B, same lifestyle goals. They planned ahead. They did 5 years of Roth conversion, still working at the same time, 22% rate. Retirement, 60,000 Social Security, 21,000 from IRA, 45,000 from Roth. Their total federal tax bill is around $145. That's not a typo. Same Social Security, same spending capacity, wildly different outcomes. This is why the Roth conversion strategy, if done correctly, is very powerful. Every dollar you convert today is one less dollar of RMDs you'll be forced to take later. Less of your Social Security is taxed, lower Medicare premiums, and fewer withdrawals overall from your portfolio, because the goal isn't eliminate taxes completely. It's just to smooth them out. You want to avoid those big income tax spikes that push you into higher brackets, trigger IRMA surcharges, put that surviving spouse in a single tax bracket. At the end of the day, 59.5, you have time, flexibility, and now this control to map out Social Security and other strategies along your tax plan. If this is done right, it keeps your benefits working for you, not for Uncle Sam. Finally, smart move number 5 is just planning for these 3 phases of retirement. Most people only plan for the start like retirement's a finish line. The truth is, retirement isn't a one long chapter. It's really 3 distinct phases, and your financial plan needs to evolve with each one. Phase 1's like freedom years, like 59.5 to 65. This is what we call the go-go years, like energy's high, you got your routines aren't locked in yet. It's your best window for like new experiences, travel, time with friends. Financially, 2 things to pay attention to. Healthcare costs, because you wouldn't be on Medicare yet, so you need to do ACA planning. And another one's going to be tax planning, because this is that you're in that golden window for Roth conversions and income control. For many households, it might be the best time to avoid heavily using retirement accounts and instead lean on brokerage, Roth, or Social Security, depending on your timing. And yes, it's okay to spend more aggressively in this phase. In fact, it often makes sense. The key is now just having a detailed plan that balances your withdrawals, your tax efficiency, and the lifestyle you want. On the investment side, just make sure you've got short-term income needs covered with stable investments like treasury bills or other low volatility holdings. That stability gives you the freedom to spend without stressing over market swings and selling out losses. Phase 2 is the stability years, maybe at 65 to 75. This is where retirement routines are settled in, travel's still there, but maybe not as aggressive. You're downsizing sometimes. And so the checklist now is transitioning to Medicare. And if that's you need to pay attention for future IRMA surcharges that you might face. Again, that's if you have like 1 to 10 million in IRA. You might be starting this process of filing for Social Security if you haven't yet. And you're going to continue doing Roth conversion strategies while these tax brackets are still favorable. And then continue to monitor this critical 15 progress closely as you go through the phase. Now, one overlooked opportunity in this phase is increasing equities later on. Why? Because with fewer spending years ahead, you can take a bit more growth risk without jeopardizing your lifestyle. Phase 3, the legacy years, 75 plus. Spending usually slows down, and then this is where healthcare costs rise, legacy goals become more important. Financial priorities start to shift. You're going to manage required minimum distributions. If you don't have a plan for that yet, you might do some qualified charitable donations. Very powerful during these years, and especially making sure this estate plan reflects your current wishes. And this is where you're going to bring in your beneficiaries where they get involved, so everyone is on the same page. Now, if this is you, you're going to spend less from your portfolio. You may be able to increase equities, again, letting more of your wealth grow for your heirs or your charitable goals. So here's the bottom line. Planning for all 3 phases gives you clarity and control. Most retirees, again, only plan for the start, but the happiest and most confident retirees have a strategy that evolves with them plan covering taxes and income and healthcare and lifestyle at every stage. These 5 moves, in-service withdrawals, Roth conversions, healthcare coordination, Social Security planning, and then this 3-phase retirement design work best when they're integrated into this comprehensive plan that's tailored to your specific situation. Age 59.5 isn't just about penalty-free access. It's the time to start launching your strategic retirement plan that will maximize your money, minimize taxes, and just give you the confidence to actually enjoy what you've worked so hard to build.